We doubled the price on the seats in the back. And so, people started sitting closer to the front because they didn't want to pay as much to sit in the back. So, this is how it goes. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to a Friday evening. I hope none of you got blown away on your way here, or at least this morning. You didn't get blown away. We're going to turn in our Siddur to page 128 as we'll begin our Shabbat service. And we also want to say Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are joining us on our Temple Shalom YouTube page, and those of you who are also joining us on templeshalom.com live feed. Shabbat Shalom to all of you as well. We're happy to have you with us. Page 128. Second song from the top of the page. Maya Fehayom Shabbat Shalom. What a beautiful day this is. A Shabbat of peace. Maya Fehayom Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Right underneath that, the words of Yidid Nefesh, a beautiful love poem of Shabbat. Yidid Nefesh av harachaman. Yidid Nefesh av harachaman. Mishochav decha el ritzonecha. Mishochav decha la 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 el ritzonecha. Ya'utz avdecha kemo Nefesh av harachaman. Yidid Nefesh av harachaman. Mishochav decha el ritzonecha. Mishochav decha la 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 el ritzonecha. Ya'utz avdecha kemo haya. Yishtachavei la 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 el mul hadarecha. Aviva, what are you carrying into the sanctuary? Something. What is a something? A poster thing about what? Your bat mitzvah project. Yeah. Very cool. At the end of the service, we can all check that out and see Aviva's bat mitzvah is next month. And at the end of the service, make sure you check out the big poster that talks about her bat mitzvah project. Fantastic. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to light our Shabbat candles. As we do, we are in the month of Kislev. We just entered into the month of Kislev this last week, just a few days ago. The month of Kislev is the month in which the holiday of Hanukkah begins. It ends in the month of, 2 points for anybody who can tell me. Tevet. If you said Tevet, you get 2 points. I don't know what they're good for, but if you need 2 points, you have 2 points. And so it's the only holiday on the calendar that starts in one month and ends in a different month. We have no other holiday. Random Jewish trivia for you for the day. But in the month of Kislev, we enter into really a month of light because Hanukkah is the festival of lights, right? It's a month filled with light. And if you want to know more about light and what it represents in our community, in our life, the Rabbi's Bulletin article that I wrote this month's bulletin, you should read it. And we talk a little bit about the importance of bringing light into the world. And as we do, we'll bring a little light into our Shabbat now. On page 120 in your Siddur, you will find the blessing for lighting our candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Beginning on page 130, we come to the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. There are 6 Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, then Lecha Dodi, and then another Psalm. The idea of the rabbis who added this into our prayer book 500 years ago, a couple of extra teachings, because I want to make sure that we have 2 wonderful Air Force cadets with us today. Welcome, glad that you guys are with us. And I want to give a little explanation so you guys aren't lost and you can learn a little something, and you can go back to the academy and you can say, oh, the rabbi taught all kinds of cool stuff. We should send more cadets to services there. It'd be perfect. Because especially, we'd love to, like your Jewish classmates, come occasionally. It's nice to have them. And make sure you check in with the rabbi at the academy too, because he's a really good guy. He's a friend of mine, so talk to him about Jewish stuff too for your class. But for the rest of us and for you as well, 6 Psalms, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Lecha Dodi, a bridge, and then a 7th Psalm bringing us into Shabbat. The idea of this section of the service is to say goodbye to the busyness and the craziness of our week and to bring us into the peace of Shabbat. Psalm 95 on page 130. The words are Lechu neranina, let us sing joyfully to God. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina ladonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina ladonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav v'toda. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot urialo. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina ladonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina ladonai. From Psalm 96, which we find on page 131. The translation, if you would like it, is on page 132. But the bottom paragraph of the Hebrew on page 131 says, Yismechu hashamayim, the heavens will be happy. V'tagel haaretz, and the land will rejoice. Yiram hayam, the sea will join in. Lo'o, and all that fill it. Anything that lives in the sky, the sea, or on the land of all God's creation. All of God's creation praises the idea of creation. And that's what this psalm speaks about. We begin in the middle of the psalm, Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. As we turn to page 132, we come to Psalm 97, 4 lines from the bottom of the page in Hebrew, and you can see the translation at the top of 133. It says, Or zarua la tzaddik, light. We spoke about the light of this month. Light is sown for the righteous. That's the S-O-W-N version, not the S-E-W-N version of sown. Like it's planted in the ground and light will grow if we bring righteousness into the world. Ul Yishrei Lev, and those who are straightforward or good-hearted people will have happiness. That's what these words mean. If we are righteous and good-hearted people, we will be rewarded with light and with happiness. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Lai 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 lai. On page 133, we'll read from Psalm 98 together in English, the bottom of the page. A psalm. Sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. And we sing another one of those joyous songs of praise from Psalm 99 on page 135. The last three lines of the Hebrew: exalt Adonai our God and bow down at God's holy mountain. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, because Adonai our God is holy. And the extended commentary says, therefore, we should strive to be holy as well. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. On page 136 and 137, we find Psalm 29, a psalm that speaks of God's power in the universe, power in great ways and power in little tiny ways as well. We'll read together in the English on both pages, and then we'll sing the last few lines in Hebrew. A psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders, Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calf and strips forests bare. While in God's temple all say, glory! Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being. Those words in Hebrew, those last two lines, Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Lai 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 Adonai oz la'amo yitain yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Adonai oz la'amo yitain yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Lai 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 lai. We've made our way through 6 Psalms and said goodbye to the 6 days of the week. We come to Lechado Day, the bridge that leads us into the 7th day, the day of Shabbat. Lechado Day, on page 138 and 139, a 500-year-old or so poem that speaks of many themes. We'll be singing verses 1 and 2 on page 138, verses 5 and 9 on page 139, as we welcome in the image of the Shabbat bride. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'digur echad, Yishmi'anu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'le'tila la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat techu v'necha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Berosh mikedem mesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Verse number 5. Hit'oreri, hit'oreri, kivarech uri uri, uri uri shedaberi, kivod Adonai halayich, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. We rise, we face the door, as we welcome in the image of the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ad keret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. And before you're seated, since we have greeted the Shabbat bride, we'll take a moment to greet each other. Turn to the people to your left, to your right, in front of you, behind you, and wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. And to those of you who are there online with us, again, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. We're all going to be seated here in the sanctuary. And if you are at home, you can be seated too. We're going to turn to page 140 as we continue, as we bring ourselves near the close of our Kabbalat Shabbat service. As we turn to page 140 and we sing from Psalm 92, the psalm that in the ancient temple the Levites would sing as they prepared the temple for welcoming in Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, it is good to give thanks to God. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer leshimcha elyon, ulizamer leshimcha elyon. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer leshimcha elyon, ulizamer leshimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנים. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. We'll continue as you turn to page 144 for Chatzi Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ילמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעלמה ויאמרו Amen. We rise for Baruch Hu as we transition into our Ma'ariv evening service, our prayer that is our invitation to prayer. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. We can all be seated as we turn to page 148. We come to Ma'ariv Aravim, a prayer of creation. We read, I don't know, a couple of months ago or so, from the beginning of Bereshit, Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God created the light and changed the times and the darkness and the light that we speak of in Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148. If you're not a Hebrew expert, you can sing the nigun. In the middle, nigun is a Hebrew word that means a song that has no words, just lie, lie, lie. And so in between the different sections of the prayer, we sing a little nigun. We imagine, if it says, God said, let there be light, God created through sound. The Torah doesn't tell us that God grabbed some sticks and some mud and some metal and some tools and put things together, but God created through sound. And so what did the sound like? We don't know, but that comes up to those who write the liturgy and those who write music for liturgy to come up with what did creation sound like. And this little melody, this little nigun, maybe gives an interpretation of what that sound of creation might have been. Lai, 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokma poteach sharim, u'v'tvuna mishane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et hakochavim, u'mishmerotehem barakia b'tzono. Lai, 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 Bore yom ve'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, uma'avdil ben yom u'ven layla, Adonai tzivaot shemo. Lai, 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 El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Lai, 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 La, 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 la. On page 150, we come to a prayer that gives thanks for the Torah, that we will follow its words and make them the pathway of each and every day of our lives. A melody that's about 50 years old or 40 years old or something like that. The last melody was about 20 years old. The melody before that was about 50 years old. The melody before that was about, 500 or 600 years old. So we take our music from all different periods of time. And with this bit of music, we give thanks for God's love by sharing the Torah with us. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Mishpatim, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה נהגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל. We speak of the oneness of the singular nature of God with the words of Shema, page 152 and 153. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. As we turn to page 154, we're going to invite Aviva to come up and help us make our way through the words of the Haftarah. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're 6 weeks away, I think, from your bat mitzvah.
I thought it was 6 weeks, like 5 weeks ago.
It's somewhere, I think it's about 6 weeks from now. The Friday night portion of Aviva's bat mitzvah occurs on a very, very important day. Did you know that?
Hello. Oh, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th is a very, very important day. That's
Oh,
6 weeks from
okay.
now. It's
Really?
a very, do you know why, Aviva, do you know why it's a very important day?
Kind of?
I don't think I told you yet. It's not only your bat mitzvah,
maybe.
but here, I'll tell you. I'm going to whisper it to you so no one can hear. Friday, January 13th is my birthday.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So that's why it's
No one
also a
told me
very
that.
important day. So we get to share a cool day together 6 weeks
I thought
from
it was
now.
like something
There we
related
go.
to Judaism.
So we're going to join together with Aviva in Haftarah on page 154.
I apologize, my voice is dying. Should I start?
Just start. You got it.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקמך וקשרתם להוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ויתן קדושים לכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen. Aviva, since you're there, would you mind leading us in, it's not exactly a translation, but it's kind of a poetic translation of the Hafta, of what we just chanted, on page 155. And if you'll start us off, we'll read along with you. Okay, sorry, that was really low. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart.
Go to 155.
That one, okay.
The other one. There we go. Perfect. There we go. That works.
Love your God with every
heartbeat,
with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the works of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
We're going to continue as we turn to page 158. As we come to the words of Mi Chamocha, our prayer of freedom. We call it the Geula, redemption. Huh? Do you want to hang out with me and do more? It's up to you.
Sure.
You can sit down if you want to, or you can hang out with me and lead more prayers. What do you want to do?
I mean, I could lead more prayers.
Okay, you could lead more prayers. Why not? All right. So, what melody do you want to sing Mi Chamocha to?
Well, what melody were you planning to sing me home?
With that
I
one.
don't know any other melodies.
Which one? The first one or the second one? The first one it is. There we go.
Okay.
A prayer saying thank you to God for delivering us from Egypt, making us on our way toward freedom, toward the promised land. Mi Chamocha, page 158. ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי, אנו ואוהבו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נמצא בקודש. Thank you, Aviva. For those who are in the know and recognize that melody of Mi Chamocha as being a Debbie Friedman melody written about, 45 or 50 years ago, something like that. The part that you didn't recognize was the part that I added to it about 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So there we go. A little writing songs together across the decades. We're going to continue on page 160. And we say, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Lie us down, Adonai, our God, in peace, and spread a shelter of your peace over us. You can chill a couple minutes if you want to, Aviva, and then we'll have you lead another something, okay? Cool. Yeah, you can sit with your dad. You can sit right there in the cool chair right there. Either way, it works out pretty awesome. There we go. So that last melody, as we said, as written about 50 years ago or so, Debbie Friedman, the wonderful songwriter. When I got to perform this melody in front of her once, when I wrote this about, a long time ago, she told me that this was her favorite melody that I ever wrote, which I thought was pretty cool because I didn't know she wrote anything, because she was famous and I was just some camp song leader guy around the corner or something. But Lie us down, God, in peace, and shelter us beneath your shelter of peace as we sleep through the night. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, B'shalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, B'shalom. Third line of the prayer. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. The last three lines. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom. On page 162, we come to Vishamru. Moses went up the mountain 3 times, up Mount Sinai, to talk to God and bring information and laws and teachings back to us. And the final time Moses was up there, came down the mountain, and God said, one last thing. And Moses said, what's the last thing? And God said, the people of Israel will keep Shabbat, just like it says on page 162. Observing Shabbat through the ages is a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased from work and was refreshed. And Aviva, are we singing the mellow version or the fast version?
Probably the fast version.
The fast version it is. There we go. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor tamid olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor tamid olam. V'nivin b'nei Yisrael oti olam. Oti le'olam.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor tamid olam.
Ki sheshet yamim
Asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor tamid olam.
Uvayom hashmi
Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash,
Shabbat
vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor tamid olam.
Ran out of bread.
For those who don't know what David's talking about, there's a tradition at many synagogues, but especially here and especially on Saturday mornings, Where we go, Vishamru B'nei Israel et HaShabbat.
Woo!
Yeah, it happens a lot here. So
No
I
one did it,
suppose
so I didn't do
belongs in
it.
the Siddur because I guess, woo in Hebrew is woo. So it goes along just well, and it celebrates the beauty of this spirit of Shabbat. We're going to turn to 164. Aviv, are you staying up, or are you leading us more? The Amidah?
I was gonna do that on my bat mitzvah, so should I do it now?
If you're going to do it to your body, of course you should do it now. Absolutely. So we'll all rise as we turn to page 164. As we come to the Amidah, a bit of explanation again for our guests that are with us this evening. This section is a series of prayers. It is called Amidah. Amidah means standing, which is what we're doing now. It's called Hatfilah, which means the prayer, which should tell you the importance of it in the service. This is the prayer. And it also is called Shmona Esrei, which means 18, because during the week there's 19 blessings, and on Shabbat there's 7. That's a different class, so we'll do that at a different time. But we're going to begin out loud together, beginning on 164. This prayer goes all the way through 180 and 181. The Hebrew is on the right-hand side, Hebrew in translation. Poetic rendition on the themes are on the odd-numbered pages. Even-numbered pages have the traditional prayer. Odd-numbered pages have the thematic renditions of the prayer. We're going to say the first few paragraphs together out loud. Then we'll take time for our own silent prayers, reading what's on the pages in the book, or just your own time for your own personal meditations, what you find written in your own heart, in your own soul. This is your time to have a little one-on-one conversation with God. And so we're going to begin on page 164. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagipor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Govel Chasedim Tovim, Bechonei Hakol, V'zocher Astei Avot V'Imachot, U'mivi Gula V'nei V'neihem, L'mad Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. 168. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, L'chayev Hakota, Rav Le'Hoshia, Mashiv Haruah, U'morid Hagal Hashem, Mechakel Chaim V'Chesed, Mechakel Chavol V'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Ofei Cholim, U'atir Asurim, U'echayei Emunato, Lishenei Alfa, Micham Bocha Ba'al Givurot, U'idom Elav, Melech Emitu Mechayei, U'matzmiach Yeshua, Ben Eman Atal Chachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. 170. Atah Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom, Yahalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'elech HaKadosh. We'll continue silently through 180, 181. When you've finished your silent prayers, please be seated. Osei Shalom Bimroma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Osei Shalom Bimroma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael 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 Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. We take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing. We ask God to bring refuah shlema, complete healing, healing of body and healing of soul and healing of mind, to Carrie Susser, Brian Zabel, Reuven ben Sipora, Moshe ben Avraham, Avram ben Odul, Helen McIntosh, Susan Perry, Paltiela bat Mordechai Vivasha, John Sheck, Faye Green, Malka bat Hillel Halevi, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Sidman, Yaakov ben Baruch, Yisraelit bat Hilda, Carol Miller, Howard Messerman, Judy Salkind, Yisrael Aharon ben Reuven Chaim HaKohen, Harriet Neal, Shmuel ben Yosef, Chris Kaplan, Yishav Zaza, Gnendel bat Sima, Azi Rahmani, Nick Cruz, and Jeremy Dowell. If we have other names for those of you who are with us virtually, if you'd like to say names out loud where you are, or if you want to type them into the chat feature where you are, we can have their names for healing. Anybody on this side of the room, names for anybody who needs a blessing of healing? Or on this side of the room, any names for blessings of healing? For all those we've named and for those who are in need, page 371, in the middle of the page. Mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Sheberach imoteinu mikor habracha leavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. This Shabbat, we read from a Torah portion called Parashat Vayetze. It's in the middle of the book of Genesis, book of Bereshit, and we're into the stories in our patriarchs and matriarchs. We're into the stories of Jacob. And here at Temple Shalom, we read Torah with the triennial cycle. For those of you who don't know what that means, you're going to learn right now. For those of you who do know what that means, you're going to hear me tell you anyway. Triennial cycle means this. We take the entire Torah, which is divided up into 54 different portions, and we read one portion each week. The triennial cycle says, let's take each one of those 54 portions and divide it in thirds. So in year 1, we read the first third of every 54 portions. The second year, we read the second third of the 54 portions. And in the third year, we read the third third of the 54 portions. You guys following me here so far? Okay, pretty good. So, which means that once every 3 years, we read one section of the Torah, which means that the last time I gave the drash, which I'm going to give the exact same drash I gave 3 years ago on this Shabbat, because I only get to do it once every 3 years because of the story that we're going to read tomorrow morning. If you're with us tomorrow morning, we're going to read the story of Jacob and his dream of the ladder, with the angels on the ladder going up to the heavens and coming down from the heavens. And once upon a time, about 20 some odd years ago, I was sitting around thinking of this Torah portion and kind of trying to interpret what it was about and what its dreams were about. And I was inspired to write this song. And so this song, this is my sermon tonight. This song about this Torah portion that we read on this Shabbat. Jacob dreamed a ladder was reaching toward the sky, with angels climbing up and down, and Jacob wondering why. Then God spoke to Jacob, a great nation you will be. To Isaac and to Abraham, this promise I did tell. Follow my commandments, and you will be the father of the children of Israel. So dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream, and soon your dream will come to be. From slavery in Egypt to the promised land we came. Today we live in many lands, but there our heart remains. For nearly 2,000 years, our Zionist dream, Lihyot Am Chofshi, Be'artzeinu, Be'eretz Zion, V'Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. And soon your dream will come to be. Martin stood in Washington in 1963. He spoke unto the people and said, I have a dream. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. Speed up that day when God's children will be able to join hands and sing. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last to dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. And soon your dream will come to be. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Last night as I fell asleep, a notion came to me. Maybe we can change our world if we all had a dream. That someday soon we all will see that Muslim, Christian, Jew will share this world of plenty in love and harmony. For deep inside my heart I know that soon we will all live in peace when we love a little, hug a little, share a little dream when we work a little, build a little, make a little dream when we laugh a little, sing a little, pray a little dream. Our dream will be reality. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. Dream a little, dream a little, dream a little dream. And soon your dream will come to be. A little drosh on this week's Torah portion. We're going to bring our service to a close with our last few prayers. Turn to page 586 as we rise and join together in Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahen, v'gor aleinu kechol hamona, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, akadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim veyoser haaretz, umoshav yikaro bashamayim mima'al, ushchinatu zo, begovei meromim, Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatu betorato, yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hua Elohim, bashamayim mima'al, ve'al haaretz, mitachat einod, in the middle of 590. Ki hamalchut shelcha hi olam yatimloch bechavod, kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'ne'emar, vaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, Ushemo echad. We can all be seated. We will turn in our Siddur to page 597, as we read together at the bottom of the page, the little paragraph right there together. Our thoughts turn to those departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We turn to page 598 as we ask mourners to rise and those whose custom it is to stand with them as we recall in our yard sites. Well, page 198. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, de'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, kuya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. We can be seated. David, do you have announcements? We do. We'll invite David Weiss from our board of directors and of our vice presidents to come and share a few important announcements, all kinds of exciting stuff coming up in this month of December, leading us up and through the holiday of Hanukkah.
Hi, thanks everybody for joining us. It's wonderful to see everybody. You know, my daughter's asking me, like, why are we at the synagogue all the time? And that's where the Jews are, right? That's where our people are.
That's right.
So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Rabbi, for leading us this evening. Sunday, December 4th from 9 a.m. to noon is another men's and women's club minion breakfast, $5 suggested contribution per person, and presentation of a timely subject. This month, we can visit with 3 Colorado Springs Utilities management people that will answer your questions. So that's kind of exciting. Please register online at templeshalom.com, davening at 9 a.m., then we have breakfast at 9:30 and Q&A at 10. It's really a fun time. And we have 2 adult...
It'll be interesting because the director, the CEO of Colorado Springs Utilities just left to go to another job, and so those 3 people are now running our utilities. So I'm hoping that our Israeli guy who was running Colorado Springs Utilities, it's really true, just left for another job. And so these are the ones who run everything now. So it'll be great to get answers from them on Sunday.
That's great. I was thinking about that as I was trying to drive my car in the windstorm this morning. Like, are we going to have power? And we didn't lose power, so that's great. There are 2 adult education classes with Rabbi Jay coming up right away in December. In the Rabbi's Kitchen, a night for latke lovers on Thursday, December 8th. It's going to be great, I'm sure, in our new Hillel at UCCS. Some of the students are going to come. I was going to come, but I found out Aviva has a recital that night. So it's hard to say.
You guys are going to miss out because this is like being at a live taping of the Food Network. I'm going to be cooking all kinds of latkes, and you get to eat all of them. And it's just like you're spending an hour in the Food Network kitchen. So it's a great night, a lot of fun. You should come.
Yeah, I think those are legendary. So hopefully people can come.
It is here.
Yeah.
Yes, it is here, and it's the
in the
first
kitchen.
time that I'm doing a in the Rabbi's Kitchen back in the temple since COVID. So excited to be cooking here again with all of you joining in.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I love latkes. I wish I could come. And they never taught me that in Hebrew school, 9 things you might not know about Hanukkah on Sunday, December 11th. Sign up at templeshalom.com. So those are also really fun and educational. Wednesday, December 14th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., Temple Shalom is invited to Temple Beit Torah for the verbal de-escalation training presented by Chris Usek,
Yes.
the crime prevention officer of CSPD, Falcon Division. Light refreshments will be provided. Contact TBD for more information or to RSVP. And we've been wanting to do things with Temple Beit Torah, so this is exciting, I think.
Right. Continuing on with our security program, we hosted the last one. They're hosting this one. We're going to be hosting the one after that. So lots of good security information for everyone.
That's great. And Hanukkah celebrations and entertainment is on the horizon as well. Saturday, December 17th is a Little London Winds Hanukkah concert, which people love that. It's sponsored in loving memory of Adele Obadov that starts at 7 p.m., December 17th.
In loving memory of Adele, who was the 2nd president of Temple Shalom.
Oh.
And if you've never been to the Little London Winds concert, you don't know what you're missing out on. It's fabulous. It's like a, 40, 50 people. It's a large wind and brass concert. We actually removed 3 rows of seats to fit them all in here. The place is packed, and it's just wonderful Hanukkah music the whole evening, played by local people who volunteer for this orchestra. It's a great night.
Wonderful. December 17th starts at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:45. And Sunday, December 18th at 6 p.m. is the Hanukkah Community Candle Lighting at 4:30 by the Religious School Hanukkah Experience. Lots of Hanukkah fun to be had. We'll be there. Sign up at templeshalom.com. And of course, if you know of any temple members who are ill, hospitalized, or suffering from a loss, please contact the office so we can be sure to provide encouragement and support. Any other announcements? Okay, thanks to Temple Shalom for the oneg this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Yeah, please mark. You can check templeshalom.com and the Tuesday email for more information on all of those things and to get signed up and join us for all of the good and fun, exciting stuff that's happening in the month of December. We're going to end our service with a little bit of music that we sang earlier, a prayer for peace of Oseh Shalom. If you want, you can find it on page 647 in your book. But if you know the words, you won't need your book. So a little prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom b'momah, Yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amin. Oseh Shalom b'momah, Yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amin. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those of you on YouTube and on TempleShalom.com live, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. We'll see you all soon. For those of us who are here, we'll see you in the social hall for Hamotzi and for Kiddush in just a moment. Shabbat Shalom.